I represent Abia South in this hallowed chamber. Mr. President, I need to thank you first by ensuring and making sure that you worked with us to put security topmost today, and that we're going to do everything that we can, each and every one of us, to discuss this problem. When I was coming, Mr. President, this morning, I saw the newspaper headline of this day. Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, expresses shock at the level of violent crime. In other words, Mr. President was expressing surprise. But in accordance to our rule 5313, I will not go into that, but I will only say, Mr. President, in pidgin English, this surprise surprised me.
Minority Leader, there should be no surprises, just go straight to the point.
You have told us that on this solemn day that we're discussing this matter, that we may not at any point be partisan. And I want to tell you, Mr. President, if you didn't insist that we will not be partisan, I would have called out the presidential spokesman, Femi Adesina, who, when the CAN leaders complained about the killing of a priest, he turned around and said that the CAN was acting like a political party. Now that we are talking about it here, let me hear him say that all of us are acting like a political party when somebody is complaining about these incessant deaths in this country. Mr. President, because we have to get to the root of this matter, I can only say one thing. Those who live by propaganda will die by propaganda.
Minority Leader, I really don't like what I'm doing, but I'm forced to. The issue before us and what concerns every single Nigerian today is the insecurity that is so pervasive. So I will still urge you that please, let's contribute in such a manner that we're able to get solutions. I'm not saying you cannot say what you want to say, but let's get solutions. What is the way forward? Because we need to take very urgent and immediate decisions and get across to the other side. So you may continue. In fact, you have 2 more minutes. No, you can still. Anyway, this is a minority leader, so there is a discount for him. Go ahead, minority leader.
Mr. President, we are very serious here. This is a matter of life and death. And I was building up to something. And I will say what I was building up to very simply. Boko Haram has been defeated. Nigeria is now safer. Everything was being done to make sure that the hard work that was supposed to be done in securing Nigeria was not done, because certain people did not do their work and preferred to cover the eyes of Nigerians with propaganda. That's why I said that at the beginning. But let me go on, Mr. President, to say this. All the time that we wasted in Nigeria trying to find all these excuses for non-performance has now come to stare us in the face. Reality is no respecter of persons. And it is the reality that we are facing now. Senator Sani Musa shouting every day that his people were being killed in Niger. We just took one from Jos, a student who was murdered by a Boko Haram person in full view of everybody with a pistol. And the Boko Haram person was somebody that was more, almost, he's not up to 9 years or 10 years old. And we are told that they have been defeated. Now, to go to the fact of what do we do? Mr. President, we have heard from the newspapers today where you have said and suggested, and they are quoting you to say, oh, well, we are going to call the IG, we are going to talk about the community policing, we are going on that way. Mr. President, Nigeria did not elect the IG. We did not elect the chief of staff. We did not elect the joint chiefs. We did not elect the national security advisor. We elected the government of APC in 2015 and re-elected them in 2019. The reason why we re-elected them was that they continued to tell us that because they had the key to security, and the whole Nigeria voted them in 2015, and I agree with that. And I'm saying, Mr. President, when you want to deal with a matter, you go to the head. So we will go to the government and ask this government to resign because they can no longer do anything in this country.
Mr. Minority Leader, I know. Okay. Please, Minority Leader, let me remind you once again that Nigerians voted for APC in 2015, and because they saw improvement in their lives, they voted APC again in 2019. I don't want us to be partisan, and I will advise against hate speech in this chamber.
Mr. President, in conclusion, Mr. President, in conclusion, Mr. President, Mr. President, I need your attention. Mr. President, in conclusion, yes, Nigerians voted a government into power. And that government even said, if we don't perform, stone us. We are going with the stones to stone them now because they are no longer. Mr. President, what you want is a solution. We are giving you the solution.
I think the minority leader, distinguished colleagues, the situation in this country is such a serious situation that our debate should be tailored towards ensuring that we are able to get solutions. Senator Abdullah Adamu.
I am Senator Abdullah Adamu, and I represent Nasarawa West in the Senate of the Republic. I want to identify myself in body and in spirit with the motion in debate. There is no doubting the fact, Mr. President, that we do face security challenges in the country. Anybody who says otherwise is only pretending. But the fact that we have security challenges and the fact that we are in a democratic dispensation and the fact that in the National Assembly, on the floor of these hollow chambers, we enjoy some immunity. If, Mr. President, we do not approach this debate, if we do not approach this debate with the level of responsibility that it demands, we shall be doing more harm than good to this issue of national security. If we are all to stand up here and talk about campaign pronouncements, manifestos presented by different parties, those accepted and those rejected, like those on the other side of the aisle, we would not have time to discuss what we're here to discuss. The opening salvo by the minority leader, where he crashed land by saying he is going, they on that side of the aisle are going with stones. Stone, in the spirit in which he made that contribution, is a weapon. We do not want to sit here as elder statesmen and add more insult to injury. It is not within our duty to do so. And I would have wished the Senate President not only telling the minority leader that he's used his time allotted for this discussion, but I should have called him to withdraw those statements that he made. As a respect and recognition, and that he is a man of honor to stand by the oath of office he took. Yes, we can criticize government. Even somebody within the ruling party can criticize government. Why there is necessity for doing so? We are mature enough to know that and to accept that. But when people become negative and extraordinarily partisan and say we should not be partisan in our discussion, after throwing his salvos, he said you should throw none at them. I do appreciate, Mr. President. I believe very strongly that we do have security challenges. I do believe, and I do know, no amount of talking there will stop him from talking. I do know that this Senate has had occasions to summon a security retreat. I have no objection whatsoever that the intention of this motion to get us to discuss in full the implication of what we are in and how best we get out of it, so that we can, at the end of the day, make submissions to the executive to take necessary actions for this. But for us to sit and talk as if nothing is happening, as if government is doing nothing, does not help the situation we are in. I believe that if government agencies have not been able to get us to the promised land, we should try to go into the nitty-gritties of what is their problem. How do we help to resolve those problems as Parliament, instead of just outright condemnation and seeing nothing good and throwing or wanting to throw a baby with the dirty water. I believe that the debate is well-founded, the motion is well-founded, I support it, and I do want to appeal to our very dear colleagues that we restrict ourselves to what will help the nation and not what will divide the nation. Thank you very much.
Say this, and it's an appeal. This is the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. People are losing their lives. Nobody is happy. No matter what, we are going to debate this motion. Because it's our responsibility. We owe Nigerians to discuss this, debate it, come up with the solutions. So please, distinguished colleagues, we may have different platforms, but we should remember that what we are discussing is Nigeria. The minority leader had made his contribution. Now, I will advise that please, let us not go partisan. When the Boko Haram or bandits will kill or abduct people, they don't ask about their political parties. Please, let's discuss this as statesmen. We may be in opposition, but what Nigerians expect today is not what we say in a partisan manner, but what we say in such a constructive way to get this ugly and unacceptable situation resolved. We just have to do this. So please, with this plea, I want to invite the DSP to make his contribution, and thereafter Senator Alero.